okay? Am I okay? Hi, my name is Randle, and I am a member of the UIF team. Thank you. Thank you. I've been running around all weekend and haven't had the chance to practice the way all these other wonderful Igniters have, so please bear with me. I am focused on nurturing the community within the community that is our HBCUs.
Aggie Pride?
So keep that same energy, all right? And I am asking you, as we do with call and response, that when you hear your school's name, because you might, go for it. Shout it out, all right? I'm asking you to do that. So, how many people have heard the term HBCU? Yeah, we've heard it. We've heard it. But how many of us know what it means? Okay, not as many. And how many know why they were created? Kind of. All right. It means historically Black colleges and universities. The short of it is, these were created because Black people were not allowed in white spaces. And learning, the desire to learn and gain knowledge and grow is innate in all of us. Did you know that 40% of the members of Congress were graduates of an HBCU and other prestigious positions? I can even think of at least one vice president as well. So, as my brother Cortland says, if you took any of his sessions over this weekend, let's add some context to this before we bring it into the space. Is that where I was going next? You were. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I've had a lot of help from my community this weekend, so many things going on, and I shared also vulnerably that I'm going through a lot mentally, mental health, and hey, I've had to ask for help. I've had to be humble enough to receive help, and I've appreciated it. Thank you. So, as I was preparing this, I learned a lot. I'm going to share it with you. We're going to go on a little history lesson. All right, so in 1837, the first HBCU, Cheney University, was founded in Pennsylvania. In 1854, the first degree-granting HBCU, Lincoln University, was also established in Pennsylvania. Shout out to Pennsylvania. In 1856, the first Black-owned and operated HBCU, Wilberforce University, was established in Ohio. In 1865, the first HBCU that was established in a southern state, which was North Carolina, and it was called Shaw University.
Gang, gang!
Shaw, yeah!
You know!
Like that. And in 1890, the federal government began granting land for Black colleges and universities. Finally, in 1965, in the Higher Education Act, Congress officially defined an HBCU as a school of higher learning that was accredited and established before 1964 and whose principal mission was the education of African Americans. And even with that distinction, we deny no one. today, about 25% of the student body at HBCUs are of other ethnicities and backgrounds. And we have a few of those in the room today, too. In these 2020s, we continue to make history. So in 2020, the first HBCU history course was established at Virginia State University.
Yeah, Trojans.
Come on, like that. Come on, like that. Also in 2020, the first HBCU cycling team was established at St. Augustine's University in North Carolina. Come on, come on. And just this week, in March 2023, the Fisk University women's gymnastics team, the first from an HBCU to compete at the NCAA level, also was the first to host an NCAA gymnastics meet. This is so close to my heart because my daughter is a gymnast. And now Fisk University is honoring us. And this is a big deal. This is a big deal because when the NCAA was established in 1906, it was established with PWIs in mind, or predominantly white institutions. So this is huge. And this highlights the historical, intentional opportunity gap. An equity filter reminds us that this is not an achievement gap. Strike that from your vocabulary. It is not an achievement gap. We are fully capable of achieving great things, but haven't always had the same opportunities that some of us in this room may take for granted. About 7% of Black college students are enrolled in HBCUs, and this is only about 3% of their options for college within the US. And so I wonder, why? Why an HBCU? Let them tell you.
Community, culture, and belonging.
Belonging, opportunity, and inspiration.
Representation, culture, and family.
Yeah.
Come on. These days, about 53% of Black college students are enrolled in PWIs. And yet, in UIF, I'm estimating here, but about 98% of the Black fellows come from HBCUs. So what does that tell you? That if we don't engage directly with HBCUs, then Black people have less opportunities available to them? But that can't be right. Because to me, that sounds like a limiting belief.
And it is. Come on.
And our design thinking tools help us break limiting beliefs. And it helps us expand what we think is possible. And we have superpowers, each of us.
And do. Come on.
We have superpowers of listening, of collaboration, of celebrating mistakes, ta-da, and superpowers of inclusion. Everywhere in the world, no matter which community you are from, no matter which country you represent, no matter which school, there is someone that you realize is intentionally marginalized. There is someone that you realize doesn't have a seat at the table, hasn't been invited into the room, hasn't had their voice heard, hasn't had their ideas listened to. You know who they are. You can probably imagine them in your mind. Somebody popped in there, a certain portion of the population. And you, ta-da! And you are the designers that can change that. So how might we be intentional about the inclusion of marginalized communities? So my challenge to you, designers of our future reality, I'll put this the way my brother Mylan Drake does. I'm going to ask you to be JEDIs, to be knights of justice, equity, design, and inclusion.